we got the victory, but we didn't play as well as we're capable of playing. We allowed this team to stay in the game. From a defensive side, we didn't control the line of scrimmage, let the quarterback run for a number of yards, and they rushed right at 300 yards. And you look at that team, and it's we're a better team in that, and we can play better than that. But I tell them all the time, what happens at practice is going to happen in a game. If we're allowed to happen in practice, don't be amazed about it when it happens in a game, because that's what you're going to get. But offensively, you look at the performance of Johnny Ford. We was able to rush the ball for right at 300 yards, and we were able to knock them off. But the thing we can't do is turn the ball over. We had 3 turnovers. We have a long drive, but we're not able to sustain it. We don't get the touchdowns. We get in the red zone, and we break a big run. Then all of a sudden, we get down there, and then we don't execute. We had 2 penalties back to back which took us back. Not being a very disciplined team. But it just comes down to where you got to be a team that you got to be able to concentrate. You got to know where your focus is. And if it's not there, then you don't expect to play good. With the black jerseys, and that's why I always say this, you don't ever change a uniform. And then when you get changing uniform, and guys so into the way they look instead of the way they play.
Coach, Johnny Ford was a name that we weren't really familiar with coming into the year, but over the first 7 weeks, he's played such a pivotal role. Talk about what he's been able to do for the ball club.
Well, Johnny was the player of the year in Dade County, and so he had the opportunity to go to a lot of different places, and we ended up getting him. And just know he's a different back. He's an explosive, quick back, and you see when he hits the hole, he's not going to run away from a lot of people, but he's able to just get out in front, and we got tracked down on the one, but the really long run. But he's a little guy that can hide behind the lineman, and then once he, breaks to the second level, he can get you a bunch of yards.
Coach, it seemed like a tale of 2 halves. The first half, your defense plays great. The second half, your offense plays great. Just can't put 60 minutes together on both sides of the ball? No,
we can't. We haven't done it all year long. You see, you're right. The first half, the offense couldn't get it going. Then the second half, the defense couldn't stop them. And that's where we're not complete. We got to be complete in our game. And we know this is a big test next week in Houston. We're on the road, and if we play like we played tonight, we really get embarrassed.
Coach, it seemed like there was a moment in the third. I think the team was about the 10-yard line. Play clock's winding down, and the whole offense just looks over at the sideline with their arms thrown up. And you looked frustrated as well on the screen. What was going on?
No, what happened, we were allowed the play clock to run down. They sub, we sub, so then the official standing over the ball. We had a play in, and then the clock is at 10 seconds. So the thing is, if we're going to sub, we got to get our substitution in, because the official is going to stand over the ball. But once he starts the play clock, he's not going to stop it. So you got, and we didn't have enough time because we was going to be a check, and we didn't have enough time to run the play.
Coach, some people would say your offense is a problem, but you're averaging darn near 10 yards of play. Is it just you can't find the end zone?
Well, you had to get in the end zone, and you had to score. And but it's not just the offense. You got to play good in all 3 phases. And if you don't play good in all 3 phases, then you're going to look at it, and it's amazing that we can sit here and complain because we're 7-0, and knowing we can play much better than what we're playing.
Coach, you said about practice. Not a good week of practice?
Well, it's not so much it wasn't a good week, but when you allow some plays to hit you in practice, they're going to hit you in a game. And if you don't get it corrected, and if you kind of just go through it, then you got to go back and you got to correct it. And sometimes I say when you try to do too much, and when you try to do too much, you just got to take the thinking away from the kids and let the coaches think.
What were your thoughts on Brad Cecil's play tonight at center?
Well, I didn't really get a chance, but he's been practicing well, so. For him to go in and play, I feel like he's a really good player for us, and he's going to play well.
Coach, a flag on that questionable hit there late in the game. What was your thoughts on the hit? What did the refs tell you?
Well, like this is a game of safety, and you got to protect. And quarterback's going down and look like we led. Anytime you make contact with your helmet first, it's going to be a flag. But you got to protect players, and I didn't see anything wrong with the call. I said it's going to be. He probably won't get ejected, but it's going to be a 15-yarder.
Coach, you got a lot of young guys on both sides of the ball. What does it say about your team to have so many freshmen in such important roles?
Well, it is, and you look at us. We lost so many guys last season, and then you're sitting here where we're sitting at 7-0, and we playing like you look at our offensive line, 2 true freshmen starting there with Cecil at center now, and then Jennings at tackle, and then you look at the running back, Johnny Ford's a true freshman, and with Cronkite being a transfer, your quarterback is a transfer. St. Felix is a redshirt freshman. 8 gives you the age that you need, and then Wilcox is sitting there. But then even on defense, you got Nick Roberts is a redshirt freshman, Bentley Sanders a redshirt freshman, LaPointe's a redshirt freshman. You got a bunch of young, talented players playing, and they're playing well. I mean, we're playing good enough to win, but we can play much better. And when you have young guys, you're gonna make a bunch of mistakes, and they just haven't been battle tested enough where they can sit there and just go play. When you have older guys, they understand, hey guys, we got to go shut these guys down. We got to get off the field. We got to get the ball back. And once, as they continue to grow, then that attitude is going to come to them.
Charlie, their quarterback, was it a lack of depth this thing, or being on the line of scrimmage, or both?
It was a combination of both. I mean, we never got off blocks. We never won the line of scrimmage on defense. And if you can't win the line of scrimmage on defense, the ball there's no reason for the ball to ever go downhill. If you're going to have a quarterback who can run the ball against you, then you make sure that he can make a guy miss and he can get to the outside on you. But, some of those balls are right in the A gap. And you can't lose the A gap because you got to control it. You talk about control the line of scrimmage. That's where it starts. It starts from inside out, and we didn't control the line of scrimmage, and that's why the big run's about a quarterback.
You mentioned that point.
Say it again.
Coach, does that have to be a big focus of practice this week after what happened tonight? And you face another mobile quarterback in King next week.
Well, King will rush for about 500 yards if we don't watch it. We're going to have to go in, and we got to see what we're doing, and we got to get it corrected.
Coach, is that the balance? I mean, you guys are 7-0 right now, so that's nothing to sneeze at, but you also realize how you got to play better moving forward.
Well, you're 7-0, and you can be, 0-7 too. Also, but it's good to be in this position. But you got to play better. So, and we're not where we should be. We can be much better than what we are.
You mentioned LaPointe and Roberts a second ago. Obviously, LaPointe led the team in tackles. Roberts was second. He had to pick again tonight. Talk about what those two guys have been able to do over the last couple of weeks.
Well, the two guys that have that we put in the lineup, and they have really played very well for us. And but it doesn't surprise you because they were involved in the kicking game. So you watch them go run downfield on kicking game and make plays. And then when you do put them in a situation where they're on defense, then they can get lined up, and then they can make plays. They can tackle people. They can find the football.
Without Nico, was he a big cog to why they ran for 300 yards without him?
Well, the thing that Sawtell does is, he's been there, and you got two linebackers. We move Reeves from end to linebacker, and then you have McGee, two guys that have really learned the position. But the thing Miko is, he's solid in there, and he can get guys lined up, and he's really good about with movement. When you move a lot, which we do, when you move a lot, guys got to know where their gap is. And it's always where you play behind the slant instead of in front of the slant. So once you play behind the slant, then if you stay behind it, then those runs, they're going to come to you. But if you get out in front of it, then you open up the lane, the cutback lane, and that's what was happening. He's taking off. You watch him take off. You wait for the movement to come, then he'll cut right back off of it, and then you have an open seam.
Coach, you start running the gauntlet of your schedule at Houston next Saturday. Is it time to pick up the focus and intensity of practice?
Well, it's time for us to get going, period, because now you're going to go on the road. You have to go on the road. You got to go beat Houston. You're going to have to go get Cincinnati. You got to go to Temple. And then you got Central Florida at home, but, Tulane is still in the middle there. So this is where we're going to see what type of team we really have, and it's going to be our true test.
Coach, last year you're 7-0. Houston comes in here, ends the season. Same situation this year, but you're going to their house. I know it's two different teams this year, but do you think there will be a sense of kind of righting that wrong going into practice?
Well, the thing you had last year, you had the seniors that played in the game. They're all gone now. You had 23 seniors, and most of them from Quentin to Augie. Those guys are really critical players for us. So I'm not gonna even talk about that. We just got to talk about it. We got to go get better, and we have to improve, or it will be another script written the same way.